Hello, kindergarten. I hope you all had a good weekend. As you know, this is our last week of school, so we only have 2 more lessons to go for our dinosaur unit. So we will do a lesson today, and then the last one will be tomorrow. So for today, we'll be taking a look at an important part of dinosaurs, which are called fossils. Now, fossils, kindergarten, are just the remains of plants and animals from a long, long time ago. So we talked about how dinosaurs were extinct. That means they don't exist anymore. And when these dinosaurs became extinct, they left some remains or bones in the ground. So people then dig these fossils up to find out more about what dinosaurs lived a long time ago. Now, does anybody know what we call a person who studies these fossils? It's a really big word, kindergarten, but we call the person who studies fossils a paleontologist. All right, let's try saying that all together. Paleontologist. So on the screen here, I have a snapshot of a book my little sister borrowed from the library a while ago. My little sister is in grade 4 and right now she's learning about dinosaurs in science as well. So when you're a little bit older, kindergarten, you will have a chance to learn a lot more about dinosaurs. But on it, it says you can be a paleontologist. And at the bottom of the page, we have an example of a paleontologist called Dr. Scott. And Dr. Scott is a paleontologist who studies fossils. So some paleontologists will dig up fossils from animals, kindergarten, while others may find different kinds of fossils. So if you look at the screen here, we not only have fossils like bones, we call those mammal fossils, okay, from animals, but we can also find fossils from plants, shells, or even fish. So when they find these fossils, the paleontologists uncover that certain plant or shell from many, many, many years ago, almost 1,000,000 years ago. So on the screen here, kindergarten, you can see an example of a plant fossil that used to live a long, long time ago, as well as seashells. Okay, those would be considered fossils as well. Moving on, where can fossils be found? Well, kindergarten, we can pretty much find fossils everywhere around the world. They've been discovered in North America, like the United States, Europe, Africa, and so on. But if you really wanted to dig up some fossils, most paleontologists go to what we call the Badlands. Now, these places are called Badlands because they have very dry land, and it's very hard for food to grow or raise animals on these kinds of lands because they're very dry. But for paleontologists, these are very good lands. So fossils are buried in rocks, so it's much easier to find fossils in places without a lot of plants on the ground. Now, kindergarten, we have badlands here in Alberta. So these pictures of badlands on the screen can be found only a couple hours away from where we live. So you can find these badlands probably on the way from Red Deer, and you're going down to Calgary. Remember how I mentioned a town called Drumheller? The place where dinosaurs used to live, and in Drumheller, they actually have a museum called the Royal Tyrrell Museum. Well, they also have badlands near and around that area. So if you go around Drumheller, kindergarten, down south on the way to Calgary, you will kind of see some of these dry areas, and the paleontologists will actually go into these badlands and start digging up some fossils. Okay, so up next, we will talk a little bit about how paleontologists find fossils. So because fossils are buried deep in the ground, kindergarten, they can't just use their hands. That's not very safe. So they use special tools to help them dig, like brushes, glue, or hammers, like what we have on the screen here. Once they have these tools, these paleontologists will dig into the rock and try to find where the fossils come from. And if they're really lucky, they will find more fossils or even discover some bones of a dinosaur from a long, long time ago. All right, moving on to the worksheet, kindergarten, I would like you to turn to this page that says Facts About Fossils. We will do this page together. Our job is to fill in the blanks for each sentence using the words from the box at the top. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started here. Make sure you have a pencil handy. And we will start off with the first sentence. So the first sentence says, a scientist who studies fossils is called a, and we said that that was a really big word. A scientist who studies fossils is called a paleontologist. And paleontologist, kindergarten, can be found in this really big word at the top in our word bank. That's how you spell paleontologist. So go ahead and write paleontologist on the first blank. So it's a P A L E O N T O L O G I S T. It's a really long word, kindergarten, so try not to write so big. You might go past the period at the end there, but that's okay. All right, moving on. The second sentence says, fossils help us learn about blank animals. Okay, so we said that fossils come from dinosaurs from a long time ago, and we said that since dinosaurs came from a long time ago, they are now extinct. So the word that we're going to fill in for our next blank, kindergarten, is extinct, and that's the first word in our word bank. I highlighted it out for you. So let's go ahead and write extinct in the blank. E X T I N C T. So fossils help us learn about extinct animals. All right, we only have 2 more words to go, kindergarten, 2 more words to fill in. Let's read the third sentence. Fossils are found in blank and soil. So does it make sense, kindergarten, to write the word tools in the blank? Fossils are found in tools and soil. Nope. And I'll give you a hint here. You have a hint with the picture. That is a rock. And up here we have the word rock. So we said that fossils, sorry, kindergarten. Fossils can be found in the dirt or soil, but we can also find them in rocks. Okay, so for the third blank, we're going to write rocks. R-A-K, 2-letter K. I'm going to highlight that last word so we know we have that word filled in. All right, and the last sentence, kindergarten, says paleontologists use special blanks to dig them up. So we just talked about how paleontologists just can't use their hands. That's not very safe, right, kindergarten? So they need to have these special tools to help them dig up these fossils. And we said those tools were kind of like brushes, hammers, glue, things like that. So in the last blank, kindergarten, we're going to write tools. I'm going to highlight tools. Oops. And I'm going to write in the word tools. Tools. So paleontologists use special tools to dig them up. All right, so we did that page together, kindergarten. If you turn the page, we will fill in the last 2 blanks together. All right? And then I'll explain what you have to do. So we're going to fill the blanks at the top. A blank is made of remains of animals and plants that lived long ago. We already know what to fill in the blank there, kindergarten. What do we call those bones or remains that from plants or animals that lived a long time ago? We called those fossils. So in the first blank, you're going to write fossils. A fossil is made of remains of animals and plants that lived long ago. They are found in blank and soil. So we kind of filled that out on the last page. We said that they can be found in the soil, and as well as rocks. So we're going to write rocks again. They teach us about animals that lived long ago. So the whole thing I'll read it together, or we'll read it together. A fossil is made of remains of animals and plants that lived long ago. They are found in rocks and soil. They teach us about animals that lived long ago. Perfect. Okay, everyone, so your job right now is to draw and label at least 2 to 3 different types of fossils. So in the beginning of this video, I mentioned how paleontologists can dig up different types of fossils. They can dig up bones or fossils from animals, but sometimes they may just find fossils that have plants in it, or shells, or even fish. So I would like you to pick 2 of these fossils and draw as well as label those fossils, okay? When you're done, you don't have to show us a picture. We will not be taking this page in for marks, all right? That's all for today, everyone. We will have our last lesson for this dinosaur unit tomorrow. Tomorrow you will have the chance to draw and write about a dinosaur that you will pick or make up on your own. I'll talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.